Good morning again. We are ready to resume now. Please do make sure that your cell phones are on silent. Thanks.
Ms. Ramsemi, will you be swearing or affirming?
Swearing.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Ramsamy, if you can just switch on the other.
My apologies.
Okay.
Can you please pronounce your surname?
My surname,
Yes,
Ramsamy.
Ramsamy. Thank you.
Drushanta
Drushanta.
Ramsamy. Yes. If you can also just raise your voice, please, Ms. Ramsamy.
I'll try my best. I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay, that's fine. Nothing to be nervous about. Can we start with your statement? So there should be a file in front of you which says witness statement, and that is the statement at page 1 to 33. If you go to page 33, if you can confirm that that is your signature.
Confirm?
And just confirm that it was signed this morning, the 30th, not the 29th.
Confirm.
And do you confirm the correctness and truthfulness of the contents of the statement?
I do.
Now, there should be another file, which is file 10, exhibit file 10.
Correct.
Do you have that?
Yes.
And that is CJC 400, and it has sub-exhibits as well as exhibit numbers. And those are primarily the annexures or the documents that you refer to in your statement, correct? There are then other files in front of you, but that relates to the entire IDAC stream, which at some point we will get to some of those files, but primarily we'll be focusing on the documents in file 10.
Okay.
Thank you. And those are the documents that you have provided to the Commission as part of your witness statement, correct? Okay. Now, Chair, as you indicated earlier about the issue of Ms. Ramsamy being referred to as advocate, and she explained why that is, for purposes of her evidence, when we do get to those aspects where emails are addressed to her or referred to as advocate, we understand the context within which that is.
Yes.
Ms. Ramsamy, then if we can start with your witness statement, and if I could ask you here, please feel free to elaborate on your statement where you feel necessary, and we can start on page 1 of the statement at the introduction.
Thank you. I am an adult female admitted attorney in the full employ of the National Prosecuting Authority.
You'd have to raise your voice again.
Sorry.
Or bring the mic closer.
Can I bring the mic closer? There we go.
Yeah.
Can we do, is that better? I am an adult female, admitted attorney in the full-time employ of the National Prosecuting Authority, attached to the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, commonly known as IDAC, which is established in terms of Section 7, subsection 1, capital A of the National Prosecuting Authority Act 1998, Act number 32 of 1998. I joined the IDAC as a state advocate on the 1st of March 2023. I hold an LLB degree obtained from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and I was admitted as an attorney of the High Court of South Africa on the 7th of June 2013. I was appointed as an aspirant prosecutor in Pietermaritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal on the 1st of February 2015. I wanted to continue the I wanted to contribute to the justice system after a personal tragedy. What started off as a 2-year commitment as a prosecutor has turned out to be an 11-year journey. I was based within the Pinetown cluster, KwaZulu-Natal, from the period of 2016 to 2020. During this period, I've dealt with drug-related prosecution and worked closely with SAPS members such as Carl Saunders, who has given evidence before this commission. Thereafter, I was a regional court prosecutor in Pretoria Court, CBD, and I was then appointed as a state advocate on the 1st of March 2023 in the Investigating Directorate, IDAC, or which later became IDAC. Given the extensive nature of my evidence, I will submit two statements. The first statement being the statement which deals with the genesis of the crime intelligence investigations until my consultation with the complainant, Mr. Fadil Adams, on the 6th of January 2025. In the second statement, I will deal with the events that transpired after January 6, 2025, regarding my involvement in the crime intelligence investigations and the Medicare 24 investigation. If I may clarify with regards to the Medicare 24 investigation, the Commission will see emails and correspondence that relate to Tembisa. However, the Commission will also see that the documents that I've provided does not relate to Tembisa. It was just titled that under, my opinion is that it was a guise. It is in fact the Medicare 24 contract.
Can I just clarify on that? So later on, we will see handwritten notes from you of consultations that were held and meetings that were held where reference is made to SAP's contract, Tembisa Hospital. You say that that is in fact the Medicare 24 investigation or Medicare 24 matter. That is what the office referred to it as at the time.
Correct.
So the reference to Tembisa in emails is in the subject line.
Correct.
And who initiated emails referring to Tembisa?
Advocate Johnson.
Or then you then communicated in later emails still using that same subject line?
Correct. It later then, Advocate Johnson would title projects. Like the crime intelligence became known as Project Diversion, which I explain in my affidavit.
You do explain in the statement,
In my second statement, you would see that what was initially titled as Tembisa, which was actually the Medicare 24, becomes Project Wellness.
All right.
So it progresses in terms of names and disguising.
Thank you, thank you.
Is an explanation given why it's called Tembisa? Why you are using that title?
Like I said, my understanding is that it was initially to disguise what was actually being investigated. Because I myself was confused, and through the WhatsApps that the Commission will see, there are articles that I sent based on the Tembisa to Advocate Johnson. It's only later towards May that Advocate Johnson openly stated that it was the Medicare. But in meetings with the team, we were aware that it was a 360 million rand contract.
Which is the Medicare 24 contract.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Then the next topic is the personal impact of the Commission.
Thank you. Before I testify regarding my involvement in the matter relating to IDAC that I have been asked to testify about, I have to set the record straight at the onset regarding Advocate Andrea Johnson's testimony before the Commission. Advocate Johnson told many untruths about me and my involvement in what is now known as the Mukwele case. She did not disclose that I raised concerns from the onset and repeatedly thereafter, which concerns I deal with in detail. These concerns are not limited to the Mukwele matter. I had concerns about the crime intelligence related cases and matters relating To the National Commissioner, General Fani Masiamola, Advocate Johnson decided shortly after the Section 2813 authorization of the crime intelligence matters that all other crime intelligence matters would be ring-fenced into a project which she named Project Diversion. I do not know why she chose this name, other than that what is stated in the WhatsApps that I have provided.
Which we will get to in the chronology of events.
Correct.
Okay, the next page for paragraph 5.
Thank you. I am profoundly disturbed but not surprised by Advocate Johnson's testimony. She sought to blame me for so-called irregular or problematic processes. Let me make it clear that Advocate Johnson was in charge of Project Diversion, and in particular the Mukwele matter from the onset. I deal later with the makeup of the team, which was different to how a project or investigation team is usually constituted. It is my belief that Advocate Johnson handpicked me to be part of this project because I had successfully, or rather we had successfully investigated another Section 27 referral matter involving a high-profile individual. I also believe that Advocate Johnson picked me because she thought that I would not question or ask questions because I'm a state advocate, not a senior state advocate, not a deputy director of public prosecutions. What she did not anticipate was that Mr. Mansa Rapesu, the lead investigator, and I would question Project Diversion from the start. May I proceed? Thank you.
Continue.
Thank you. I confirm that I prepared documents on Advocate Johnson's instructions that instructions that were one, not in accordance with IDAC's standard operating procedures, which Advocate Johnson indicated to this commission did not exist. 2, the process followed in July 2023 referral. And 3, that went against my concerns when assessing the merits of the complaints by Mr. Adams. I refer in particular to the application for authorization of Section 2813 investigation that I prepared on the 5th of December 2024.
Sorry, can I just interject there to deal with the issue of the standard operating procedure, which you deal with in that paragraph, which you say Advocate Johnson said does not exist. If we could ask the commissioners to go to file 10 and page 9, which is, if you can identify that document for us, and the signature on page 10.
Page 9 is the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption Operations Manual. This is disseminated via email to every person that works at IDAC. It is also re-disseminated to every staff member upon the arrival of a new staff member. So it cannot be said that there are no operating procedures or SOPs within IDAC. The signature,
Page 10, yes.
page 10.
Page 10, it should be page 10. You were on 9, which was the first page of the operation, and then page 10.
The last paragraph or portion of that page 10 is the signature of Mr. Matthew Sissoko. He is the head of investigations and operations, also known as the second in charge of our office. And then thereafter is the signature of Advocate A. Johnson, Investigating Director IDAC. Please note that the dates also indicate 16 October 2024. This is version 2.
Yes, we can see there that version 1 is 18 December 2023, and then version 2, 16 October 2024.
Correct.
And could you just briefly tell us what the operations manual deals with? We are going to deal with it in detail later when we engage you on the processes, but if you could just give us a high-level summary of the document for now.
The operational manual.
Sorry, Ms.
Am I speaking
Ramsamy,
too
yes,
softly?
and
I apologize.
closer,
Okay.
yes.
The operational manual is supposed to, and I use the word very, supposed to, create structures in which the IDAC works. These structures are based in terms of Section 7 and 27, 28, and 29 of the NPA Act. It sets out procedures with regards to investigations, referrals from the NDPP, team constitutions, reporting lines, presentations, instructions on how presentations are supposed to be done, on briefings as and when investigations are in progress. Basically, it's the Bible of how a structure of our nature is, or IDAC's nature is supposed to work. And when I use the word supposedly, if I may, Advocate Siegel, continue, thank you. Advocate Johnson would deviate constantly. It was a situation where we had this, but she would also have her own way of doing things with different groups, different investigations, different structures. So there was a constant deviation from what was in black and white. And it was always from her office that the deviation was done. And when the deviation was done, it always came with intimidation.
Can you explain intimidation in this context?
Am I allowed to say it as we say it in the office?
Yes, please.
The nickname for Advocate Johnson in the office is flip-flop, knee-jerk.
Okay, just explain that.
You would get instructions in the morning. Can I speak from my personal experience now? Okay.
Yes, please.
You would get instructions, or you would have a conversation with Advocate Johnson in the morning, or telephonically, or via WhatsApp. And it would be just the two of you, or maybe another prosecutor and you. And you would find commonality, or you would explain the legalities, the processes. I mean, the elements of an offense changes, but the principles of law does not change. If you have a document in a murder matter, it doesn't change when you're trying to prove it in a corruption matter. So you would have those engagements with her. And then during the course of the day, there would be a conversation that would take place between Mr. Perumal and Dylan Perumal and Advocate Johnson. And the flip-flop would happen. So no matter how you explained it to her or how the decision was made in a rational manner, it would then change according to what Mr. Perumal wanted. And my evidence will show how that affected the investigations.
And when you were engaging Advocate Johnson without Mr. Perumal, did you find that you were then speaking to somebody that was legally trained, a prosecutor? Was there that level of engagement?
Yes. When Mr. Perumal was not present or was not involved in the communication or was not influencing the decisions, Advocate Johnson was a very active legal mind. You would be able to engage, and she would speak about different things that she had done and how we can incorporate it and sections of acts. But then come Mr. Perumal, all of that is thrown out the door. And we are now doing things that we're not even supposed to be doing. And it is becoming an instruction. And Chair, from 2023, let me speak for me rather. No, I'm going to speak collectively as the prosecutors of IDAC, because we are all, majority of us are rocking in this boat. If you defy an instruction of Advocate Johnson, or you contradict her, the reign or the wrath, if you have to, may I speak about, if you have to go and check the records at the wellness program that NPA provides for its employees with regards to just work stress, home stress, counseling, you will be shocked at the amount of prosecutors and employees, admin staff from IDAC that are receiving counseling.
Is that not because of the nature of the work you do? Just explain.
No, Commissioner.
Yeah, please explain.
May I deviate? Am I allowed to deviate?
Slightly.
Slightly, okay. If you don't follow the instructions, you receive emails of a nature that, when I was consulting with the DPCI officer, when I intended on making protected disclosure in June last year, I likened it to being treated worse than scullery maid. You would be internally investigated, unlawfully so. You would be made, I was made redundant for an entire period in 2023 because I objected to Mr. Perumal and Advocate Johnson. And it happened again this year because I objected.
And when you say internal investigations, what mechanisms would she adopt?
Okay, now I'm jumping ahead of my evidence, I apologize. Section 28 does not have any checks and balances. And it can be likened to a 205, a Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act. It's invasive. It's exceptionally invasive. But Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act allows for a person to make submissions to a magistrate or a judge to explain why we are now invading this person's privacy, or we need this information. Section 28 allows unlimited control by one person without any checks or balances. And that is how we were investigated, through that.
Except, of course, that even if in Section 28 itself there may be no specific provisions, the Constitution is an overarching document. So Section 28 would still have to be applied with the Constitution or the privacy right in mind, if you see what I mean.
Correct, and
Yes.
my evidence, not very far down the pages, does deal with how this is so severely abused and how it continued since my start at the ID to be abused. Sorry, Advocate.
No, that's fine.
Still on this, on the operations manual, the impression, I don't know if it's just me, but the impression from that I gained from Advocate Johnson's evidence about this, the existence and application of an operations manual, was that yes, there is such a document, but we don't operate according to it. So the impression I had was, it's sitting somewhere in a computer or on your mainframe, but in fact, it's more, you just go about doing your things, and people exercise their discretion at any one time in meetings without this ever being applied. Is that correct? Because you speak of it as a deviation. In your testimony, you say she deviated from what this prescribed. Is that deviation as a matter of course? That's what happened, and therefore this was just good on paper for all intents and purposes.
It's applied as and when Advocate Johnson wanted to use it.
All right, I'm answered. Thank you.
Okay, we can go back to your statement, paragraph 6. The 6th line, the sentence that starts, I will explain. I will explain why this did not sit well with me.
Page 3.
Yes, page 3, paragraph 6. You'll see after you deal with the 3 points, you then say, I refer in particular to the application for authorization. Do you have that?
Yes.
You can read from there.
I refer in particular to the application for authorization of a Section 2813 investigation that I prepared on the 5th of December 2024. I will explain why this did not sit well with me. However, the commissioners must bear in mind that at this point, Advocate Johnson had stated they had made a decision that the matter was to proceed in terms of Section 2813, and that I was to draft the authorization and email it to her on the same day that the referral was handed to me, because she wanted to approve it by Friday, the 6th of December 2024. I deal with this fully later in the statement.
Continue.
On or about the 30th of June 2025, after the Mokwela arrest and the first appearance, I contacted a DPCI officer. I must state I trust this DPCI officer, which is why I contacted him, to inform him that there's a problem at IDAC and that I need to see him and explain and show him the documentation that I had in my possession. I asked if I could if I could do protected disclosure. We agreed to meet on the 2nd of July 2025, where I showed him a prosecutorial memo prepared by me and another prosecutor regarding the matter of General Masiamula and Lieutenant General Kumalo, which I deal with later. He said that he would speak to a colonel at the DPCI and get back to me as to how we were to proceed. The reason that I contacted DPCI is because I had previously, in late April 2025, informed Advocate Santos Manilo, the DDPP that I report to, of the discord amongst the team being that of the crime intelligence investigation, and that the investigation procedures were being flouted and that the investigation was sloppy. He replied that he had his own problems. In August 2025, I started collating documents regarding what I considered to be unlawful instructions from Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal regarding project diversion. May I proceed?
Ms. Ramsamy, sorry. When Advocate Manilal says he has his own problems, was it about the same issue, the crime intelligence investigation, or?
He had not, although he was on paper as the deputy director, he had not been briefed on the matter, which I do discuss later on in the statement.
The question I'm asking is, when he said he has his own problems, did you understand him to mean about the same subject, the same investigation, or he had his own problems within IDEC? I'm just trying to understand what it is he was.
I understood it to mean that he was not interested in my problems and this project.
I see. Yes, thank you. That answers me. Thank you.
Okay, continue.
On the 8th of August 2025, Advocate Peter Surunya, a Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, came on board the Mokwela and Lushaba cases. He started sending emails and memoranda that accorded with my concerns on how the Mokwela matter was being conducted. Advocate Joy Shlastwayo and I also approached Advocate Surunya with our concerns. He can confirm this to the Commission. When Advocate Surinje requested to be removed from the Mukwele and Lushaba cases, I was removed from the Mukwele case, and although I was apparently kept on the Lushaba case, I was excluded from the case from September 2025. I also approached another deputy director and showed him all the documentation that were concerning. He stated, "These things will never come to light." In November 2025, after Advocate Johnson testified at the ad hoc committee, I contacted the same officer at the DPCI. I informed him that Advocate Johnson had lied to the ad hoc committee and that I had proof of this. Once the new NDPP, Advocate Motibi, was appointed, I met with the DPCI officer. This would have been around March 2026.
Can I just interject to ask you why it's significant that you mention once the new NDPP was appointed? Did you meet with the DPCI officer?
Because I knew that if I had reported or we had taken these concerns to this then sitting NDPP, nothing would have been done. Advocate Johnson, there would be no repercussions, there would be no corrective measures.
By that you mean Advocate Shamila Batoy?
Correct.
Why would you have formed that opinion?
I was aware of the matter that was discussed with the Commission about the sharing of documents, but that was corridor talk, so I wasn't confirmed. But if I may put it frankly, from a prosecutor's point of view that's in the office every day, Advocate Johnson was the blue-eyed girl of Advocate Batoy. She could do no wrong. If needs be, or if the Commission so sees fit, if you look at any grievance that was sent about IDAC from the staff members, it was squashed to an extent where people started just resigning. People were applying for posts. I'm an SA. I've been applying for SA posts just to get out of that unit.
And you refer to the sharing of documents. Are you talking about what Mr. Roloff said, Mr. McLean, and Witness O said about the sharing of a docket by Advocate Johnson with General Khan? Is that what you are referring to?
Correct, but at that time, before the testimony, it was just corridor gossip.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Before you move on to the next paragraph, at the end of that paragraph 9, this is the prosecutors after you show him documents, the DDPP, and he said these things will never see the light of day. What did you understand by that? That they will be destroyed, they will be suppressed? What exactly did you understand?
That no one will ever know that these things were done by Advocate Johnson or at IDAC.
So it would be suppressed?
Correct.
Okay. Paragraph 11 on page 5.
I mention this because I do not want the narrative to be that I am retaliating against Advocate Johnson for making me the scapegoat, or that I am coming forward with this information now that my name has been dragged through the mud.
Then the mandate of IDAC?
IDAC's mandate, as I understand it, is to investigate and where sufficient evidence of criminality is established to prosecute matters of serious, high-profile or complex corruption and related commercial or financial crime, as set out in Section offenses, including contravention of PRECA, POCA, PFMA, and the Local Government Municipal Financial Management Act. the Financial Intelligence Center Act. May I proceed? Where appropriate, IDAC also institutes the resulting criminal proceedings. I've had the benefit of listening to the Commission's engagement with Advocate Johnson regarding the word "or" in Section 7(1), subsection 1, capital A, of the NPA Act. My understanding of that IDAC interprets this section to mean that IDAC's mandate, insofar as Section 7, subsection 1A is concerned, is to investigate serious corruption or serious commercial or serious financial criminal cases, high-profile corruption or serious commercial or serious financial criminal cases, complex corruption or serious commercial or serious financial criminal cases. In other words, the case may be serious or high-profile or complex. This may be an incorrect understanding, given the debate at the Commission, but this is how I was made to understand IDAC's mandate in terms of Section 7. This may be one of those matters where the Commission's recommendations may assist our office. I will not deal with the structure or the process of how a referral to IDAC is supposed to be handled. Mr. Sissoko, the head of investigations and operations, is best placed to do this. I will deal with the Section 27 referrals based on my personal experience and understanding of the SOP. Case Selection Criteria Directive issued and signed by Advocate Johnson and Mr. Sissoko in October 2024 and in August 2022, respectively.
Okay, the next topic is a referral to IDAC.
In explaining the Section 27 referral process, I must set out the following. At the time of the Adams referral, the bulk of IDAC's cases were either existing cases from other units, such as the Specialized Commercial Crime Unit, or cases emanating from the reports of commissions of inquiry, such as the State Capture Commission or the Nugent Commission. I am only aware of one other 27 referral since I joined IDAC in March 2023. This related to a matter involving a high-profile individual. I have provided some documents relating to this matter in the Commission to demonstrate the difference between how Section 27 referral was dealt, this Section 27 referral was dealt with, and how the Crime Intelligence Section 27 referral was dealt with. This was and still is a standard operating procedure referred to as the IDAC Operation Manual, issued and signed by Advocate Johnson and Mr. Matthew Sissoko, the head of investigation, on the 16th of October 2024, which I have also provided.
You must just raise your voice again and...
Sorry.
Please.
If I may just have a bit of water. There was and still is a standard operating procedure referred to as the IDAC Operation Manual, issued and signed by Advocate Johnson and Mr. Matthew Sissoko, the head of investigations, on the 16th of October 2024, which I have also provided to the Commission. In addition to the SOPs, Advocate Johnson would from time to time issue additional directives. Prior to the issuing of the SOPs, Advocate Johnson and Mr. Sissoko also issued a case selection criteria manual of sorts, which set out in detail the process to be followed in selecting cases to be investigated by IDAC. I have also provided this document. IDAC operates on the principle of prosecution-led investigations, which means that every matter is led by a senior prosecutor at the level of Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, a DDPP, working within a multidisciplinary team of prosecutors, criminal investigators, financial investigators, and data analysts. May I Just on a side note, prosecution-led investigations, if correctly done, is a brilliant method. But as it stands, it is left open to manipulation of targets. It is so easy at this point of where we are as IDAC to manipulate the statements, who the suspects are, how the investigation is to proceed, who witnesses will be, what these witnesses will say, how they will say it, what evidence is included, what evidence is not included. And it has, as I will later show, been manipulated by and used by Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal.
When you say at this stage it is very easy for this to happen, must we understand that to mean this is not necessarily about the structure, it's about personalities, or what is what makes it easy for this to happen?
There's no checks and balances.
You need to raise your voice.
Sorry. There's no checks and balances. Prosecution led with proper checks and balances. For the purpose for which IDAC was established, would excel in recovering money for Kara, successful prosecutions for corruption. As it stands, and I'm not saying all the cases, I mean, we've got some very good prosecutors, and we've got some very good, honest working people in IDAC. My reason for bringing this is because there's no checks and balances. We are where we are today. I'm giving evidence today because of the manipulation of Section 20 and the prosecution led.
Do you, but only if you've applied your mind to it and are able to answer, do you have in mind the sort of checks and balances that would address the shortcomings?
The SOPs speak to a panel that includes investigation, prosecution, and other multidisciplinaries that are housed within IDAC. And that panel was supposed to make decisions collectively using different knowledge, skill sets. It's not applied. The checks and balances are who checks that? Where's the authority that checks that we are complying?
There's that old Latin saying, I will not say it in Latin, who will guard the guards?
Yes.
It sounds like that's basically what you are saying.
Yes, that is what I am saying, because if you look at the structure of a general prosecution, OCC is prosecution guided. There are so many checks and balances in place to prevent this very thing that we are talking about today. Am I too soft? Sorry. This very thing that we are talking about today is prevented in that unit because there's checks and balances.
And so just to be sure that I understand, are you saying let me loosely call it the broader NPA, the NPA outside of IDEC, are you saying these checks and balances do exist there? Is that what you are saying? Or
correct.
All right.
Can I just ask slightly different, the same question? Are you saying there are no checks and balances because people do not adhere to the operations manual which prescribes or which sets out that there will be a team which is constituted in the way that you have described? Is that where the comment comes from? There's no adherence to that, And if the answer is yes, it seems to me then you're saying if we adhered, we do have something that's supposed to guide us, we just don't comply with it. And if we complied with it and adhered to it, then what is happening now would not happen because we do have written down checks and balances. I'm just trying to understand whether there's no provision, adequate provision, or there is provision, it's just not complied with.
If I may just, if from a practical situation of within the office, so when you do the investigation plan and the taskings and the deputy director is in charge of the former head of IDAC would, so if I had a problem with Advocate Ncube, I could go and gossip. I could really just, our office was run on gossip. You would be called into the office on gossip. But I could go and gossip about Advocate Ncube and say, Advocate Ncube doesn't know what she's doing, she's confusing the processes, and then the next meeting, Advocate Johnson is at the meeting, and what I said is golden, but the correct way that Advocate Ncube is asking for is out the door. So, in as much as we've got a structural basis, the head constantly would interfere and deviate from that.
It's not a question, it sounds from what you're saying, and please just clarify for me, it sounds like it's not a question of something must still be invented that will provide the checks and balances, that would obviate what you're describing now, but rather you do have the tool on paper. If only we all complied with it and strictly, then this concern or this complaint and its consequence would not happen.
Correct. Also, you must understand, until March 2026, none of this could be reported, because who do we report it to? Now that Advocate Mutibi is there, we are a little bit braver to come forward about these things that we were being instructed to do.
Does I don't know much about it other than what has been reported in the media. You know better and much more about it. Does the office, the existence of the office and now the appointment of the office of the IDEC judge, I'm going to call him that, in its mandate, and its written mandate, I'm not talking about informalities, I'm talking about formal mandate. Does that address what you're raising? If there is concern about matters that relate to the ID, or for that matter, even the NDPP, because there's now this great friendship between the ID and NDPP. Does the mandate of the judge include that you can escalate matters that you're concerned about? You could escalate them to that office?
To an extent.
Okay.
To an extent. But it will become clearer
As you can.
as I go on.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Ramsamy, I don't want to keep reminding you to raise your voice.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Can we then go to the next topic, the investigation process in respect of a Section 27 referral?
The investigation process is supposed to follow a sequence as set out in the SOPs in the Case Selection Criteria Directive. This is how the process is supposed to work, but even in other Section 27 referral, the other Section 27 referral I deal with later, There was no strict compliance with this process. Once again, this is how the process ought to be implemented, but it is not always done this way. Having said that, in my view, the failure to adhere strictly to the SOP does not mean that the process is irregular. As long as the process complies in substance, it would not be irregular. I will explain later when I deal with my first Section 27 referral. Since joining IDAC, I have been designated to a number of multidisciplinary investigations and prosecution project teams dealing with serious, high-profile and complex corruption, commercial and financial crime matters. In that capacity, my functions have included assessing a Section 27 referral for the compliance with the IDAC mandate, formulating and executing the prosecution strategy, working with investigators from the inception of an investigation, and guiding matters from intake through to enrollment. Given that my experience of dealing with the Section 27 referral, other than the crime intelligence referral, is limited to only one prior referral, it would be easier for me to explain, with reference to my prior experience, how a Section 27 referral ought to be dealt with in practice. The irregularities of the crime intelligence referral will become abundantly clear to the Commission. In July 2023, I received a meeting invite from Advocate Johnson. The other attendees were another state advocate, Mr. Dylan Perumal, Chief Investigator, Mr., if that may be corrected, it's Mr. Tamane Benang. Investigator, Mr. Mansa Rapesu, Senior Investigator, and Mr. Sissoko, Head of Investigations. At the meeting, Advocate Johnson stated that she had received a Section 27 referral and that had held a consultation with the deponent and the deponent's legal representative. Advocate Johnson briefed us on the averments and then instructed the team that no one was to know that we were handling the matter, owing to the sensitivity of the information and of the implicated person or persons. Advocate Johnson then instructed the prosecutors as follows, which I might add are consistent with the case selection criteria and SOP. My underlining of certain portions of the subparagraphs that follow is deliberate for the reason that will become clear later. We were to make copies of the statement, the prosecutor and myself, that she had handed to us and return the original to her office. The prosecutors were to interrogate the affidavit and decide whether it fell within the mandate of ID. Once the prosecutors had reached consensus, we were to draft a certificate of mandate. If our assessment was that the case did not fall within the IDAC's mandate, we were to compile a comprehensive memorandum detailing this finding. Once the certificate of mandate was signed, the prosecutors were to attend to drafting the application of authorization of a Section 2813 investigation. And once authorization was signed, we were to consult with the investigators and draft an investigation plan. Should the investigation yield evidence of criminality, we had to motivate for a Section 28(1) authorization. This motivation had to be accompanied by an evidential report prepared by the prosecutors, which is a full and detailed summary of the facts and evidence in each statement obtained. And should the investigation show that no criminality could be proven or that there was no prima facie case, the prosecutors would prepare a detailed memorandum setting out a summary of each statement and a detailed submission as to why there was no prima facie case, as I will illustrate later in the statement. This process was followed in this regard, I refer the Commission to the following documents, which I ask not to be displayed, or if displayed, to be redacted.
At this point, Commissioners, if we can go to page 93 of file 10, this can be displayed because it makes no reference to the matter itself, but it is an example of the consideration of mandate that Ms. Ramsamy is testifying to. So that's page 93 of file 10. Do you have it?
Thank you.
This will then correspond with your paragraph 23.1 of your statement.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe if you can just take us through the document.
Myself and the other advocate that had been allocated to the matter. And I might add at this point, when we were given this 27 referral, we were given a week to interrogate the evidence contained in the affidavit referral. We then drafted this, indicating that we had found sufficient evidence that it did fall within the IDAC mandate, not only under high-profile individual, but also serious corruption.
Okay, thank you. So we can go back to your statement 23.1.
Maybe before you do that, the page 93 is quite scanty. Is that all you say? You have an introduction. I'm not asking you to speak to that specific referral. I just want to get a sense of what information, in fact, gets covered in this kind of document. What do you discuss?
There was a verbal briefing about the allegations, and then once we received we did a comprehensive application for 2830. When I say comprehensive, we also included a 19-page summary of the evidence that was contained to confirm our mandate and our application for the 2830. And
so you set out what the matter is about,
correct.
What you have found, what you have to inform a decision on the recommendation that you're making.
correct.
Okay.
And so this would be the first page. This is our recommendation having regard to what had been provided to us, and then you include your summary, the 19-pager.
Correct.
Okay.
I unfortunately cannot give that to the Commission.
No, I understand. I just wanted to have a sense of the decision maker, because this on its own is not very helpful at page 93. It doesn't tell you what the decision maker has in front of them to exercise the discretion whether to accept or not accept the recommendation. Thank you.
And then just still on that document, we have, it will, at B, it says recommendation. This matter falls within the mandate. That's your recommendation with the other prosecutor. And it then goes to Mr. Sesoko and Advocate Johnson.
Correct.
For their recommendation.
Correct.
Or approval.
So they
He recommends and she must approve.
correct. It's so that it's what I spoke of the previous way we dealt with checks and balances.
Okay. And then at 23.2 of your statement, you deal with the application for authorization for Section 2813. So that happens after Advocate Johnson confirms that she approves that it falls within the mandate, after you submit this document, the consideration memo of mandate, and the summary, and then she would ask you, who makes the decision that there must be an application for 2813?
After the report and the certificate, we would then receive an email or a WhatsApp from the PA indicating that please come and collect your certificate, and at that point we'd be informed, proceed with drafting a 2830. It was
Okay.
not a matter of us just bombarding them with the applications. We had to get permission for each step.
Okay, let's try and finish this section and before tea.
There-
Above 24.
Thereafter, a meeting with the investigators took place and an investigation plan was drafted. This is referred to as a prosecutorial plan. Once the investigation was completed, I drafted what is referred to as an evidential report. This report provides a detailed summary of the evidence contained in each statement obtained, how the individual statements or collective evidence is linked to the elements of the offense. At some point, the state advocate was removed by Advocate Johnson and a deputy director was allocated to the matter. We drafted and submitted a request for a Section 28(1) to be approved, and upon approval of the request, the Section 28(1) was submitted and signed by Advocate Johnson. The process of registering a docket and enrollment then followed.
Thank you, Chair. Would this be a convenient time to take the tea adjournment?
Yes, let's adjourn and resume at 11:30.
Thank you.
1. Good morning again. It's 29 minutes past. We are ready to resume. Please make sure that your devices are quiet. Thank you.
Can you switch on your microphones?
On?
Thank you. We were on page 12 at paragraph 28, starting a new topic, which is project diversion. So you can start at paragraph 28.
Thank you. Against this backdrop, I now deal with project diversion. On the morning of the 3rd of December 2024, the office staff received notification of a staff meeting scheduled for Friday, 6 December 2025. 24. On the morning of 4 December 2024, an investigator working on another case with me sent an email to Advocate Johnson informing her that we, including me, would be in court on another matter that Friday. In other words, he was informing Advocate Johnson that we would not be able to attend the staff meeting. Advocate Johnson responded to the email on the same day. She asked me if the other prosecutor could not go to court without me on the Friday. In her email, she said, "I need to see you tomorrow." Us, which meant is, a product I need you to compile for my office to be submitted by Friday. I responded that I would avail myself of the briefing and the other prosecutor would attend court that Friday.
If we can just pause there, that correspondence appears at page 100 to 101, and the email from Advocate Johnson specifically instructing, telling you that she needs you for tomorrow is at the top of page 100, but it starts on 99. The first line is cut off, but it says, "Drew, can Tillis carry on without you on Friday?" That's the cut-off part at the bottom of 99 and top of page 100. And then on page 100, there's the "I need to see you tomorrow," and there us, which is a product I need you to compile for my office to be submitted on Friday. That's the email you're referring to.
Correct.
And you then respond on page 99, "Morning, Advocate Johnson. Apologies for the late reply. I am in court. Noted, Advocate Johnson. I will avail myself tomorrow for briefing, and on Friday, Advocate will attend to the High Court postponement."
Correct.
Okay. So we can go back to your statement, paragraph 29.
The next morning, the 5th of December 2024, at 8 a.m., I went to Advocate Johnson's office per her instructions the previous day. When I arrived at her office, she had a gray document bag with a zip, and she told me that it contained a highly sensitive Section 27 referral affidavit. She told me that they had decided that the matter will be investigated. She did not say who they were, and I did not ask. I assumed that she would be referring to herself and Mr. Sissoko, given my previous experience. I later learned that Mr. Sissoko had no knowledge of this matter. Returning to the document bag, it also contained a pinkish purple page from a notepad with names of people in Advocate Johnson's handwriting. She told me that these are the suspects Chief and I discussed are to be included in the Section 2813. By Chief, she meant Mr. Perumal. Advocate Johnson handed me the bag and gave me the following instructions. Again, my underlining is deliberate. I must take the content of the bag and prepare an application for authorization of a Section 2813 investigation. The names on the notepad were the names of the people who must be listed as the suspects in the application for the 2813 investigation authorization. She gave me the names of the IDAC members who would form part of the team on this matter in order for me to include it in the application. She indicated that it would be Advocate Manilal as the DPP, Mr. Perumal, Chief Investigator, Mr. Rapesu, Lead Investigator, Mr. Padiachi, Senior Investigator, Mr. Venan Vessels, Chief Financial Investigator, and me, Prosecutor. Advocate Johnson said that she needed a DDPP on the matter for the purposes of authorization, but that she would supervise the matter. I must not make copies of Section 27, the 27 referral affidavit. 30.5, I am allowed to make notes regarding the Section 27 referral affidavit. 30.6, I must not show the Section 27 referral affidavit to anyone due to the sensitivity of the matter. Once I have prepared the application, I must email the application to her as a matter of urgency, and I must then return the contents of the bag to her.
Let me just make a comment here. When Mr. Padiachi testified and said that he never had sight of the Section 27 referral affidavit, I suggested to him that that was very hard to believe, because what would he have investigated if he did not have what was in effect the source document? What you've just said now appears to vindicate what he said.
Not so soon, Chair.
Oh.
She'll get to it.
Oh, spoke too
But
soon.
it's an apt observation, which is why she deals with it.
All right, okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
Chair.
thank you.
Can I just, because we have not seen the Section 27 affidavit you are referring to. You say there was this purple pinkish notepad and it had names of people.
Correct.
When you looked at that affidavit, did the names that were on the purple notepad also appear in that affidavit you were looking at that you were told not to make copies of?
No, Commissioner.
Thank you.
When she gave you the list of names, did she say where she got that list from?
Yes, Commissioner, I do deal with it in paragraph 30, on page 13. She told me that these are the suspects Chief and I discussed are to be included in the Section 2813, Chief being Mr. Perumal.
The more direct question perhaps then, when she testified, you were following, she didn't remember where she got this list from. She thought it came from you, and then she came back to report that she called you, and you said to her on that call that you said she told you when she gave you the list that she got the list from Chief Perumal. Is that correct? That happened on that day that she gave you the list?
No, no, Chair. Sorry, Commissioner. Commissioner, the page was her handwriting. Her handwriting is very distinctive. And it was a pink purplish page with notes that she would usually, or a notepad that she would usually keep in her office. And she had clearly stated to me, these are the names Chief and I decided, but it was her handwriting.
Okay, second question. When she called you now, as she was testifying here, when she called you, if she did call you, did she call you?
Correct.
To ask about the list?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Did you say to her that, but when you gave me the list, you told me that it came from Chief Perumal? Did you say that to her?
Commissioner Paloi, she's going to deal with it in detail because there's some corroborating evidence that she wants to deal with, but specifically dealing with your question.
Okay, I'm happy to leave it. Thank you.
I think we're now at paragraph 31.
31.
But just before that, we do have the application that you submitted to Advocate Johnson, and you refer to the names that were on that page that she had given you, that should be the suspects. If we go to file 10, page 108, if you could just let us know, because those are the names that's referenced in your application. So if we can start on 106, that is the application that you sent to Advocate Johnson, correct, for
Correct.
authorization?
Correct.
We'll deal with the email correspondence evidencing that you had sent it to her. And then on page 108, at paragraph 3, names of subjects and entities forming the subject matter of the investigation, but are not limited to, and there are names there, and an automotive engineer. Are those the names that was on the page?
Correct, because the 27 referral that I had sight of, a lot of these names didn't correlate with that 27. So I personally don't know. I can honestly tell you, Chair, even during the investigation portions of it, 3.11, no feature. 3.9, also no feature. 3.12, I will explain as I go on as to how that name came about, but it wasn't in the referral.
Okay. So then let's go back to your statement, paragraph 31.
Advocate Johnson told me that she needed the application urgently. Because she wants to approve the Section 2813 investigation by Friday, 6 December 2024. She did not explain the urgency. I requested that I be allowed to draft the application when I got home later that day, because I had to be in High Court in the morning for another matter. She said it was fine as long as she received it that evening. I assumed that when Advocate Johnson stated they decided that there will be an investigation, that she had already received a consideration of mandate memo from a senior prosecutor or DDPP, as this was done in the other Section 27 referral matter. The matter immediately did not sit well with me. In my limited experience, the prosecutors who prepared the consideration of mandate memo, ought to be the prosecutors preparing the application for Section 2813. Investigation authorization. But since the instruction came directly from Advocate Johnson, and she had already told me that the decision had been made and that she wanted to approve the Section 2813 the next day, I complied with her instructions. Later that afternoon, I went about preparing the application. When I read the Section 27 affidavit that Advocate Johnson gave me, I became very concerned about the merits of the application. I have to deviate before I deal with the application itself. To deal with the contents of the Section 27 referral affidavit that I received from Advocate Johnson on the 25th of December 2024.
The 5th.
Sorry, 5th of December 2024.
Okay, then the subtopic, the Section 27 referral affidavit.
When Mr. Padiachi testified before the commission, a document was flighted, and it was identified as the Section 27 referral affidavit of Mr. Fadil Adams. This document is contained at page 512 to 516 of the IDAC exhibit bundle. When I saw this document, my heart dropped to my stomach, because this was not the 27 referral affidavit that Advocate Johnson gave me on the 5th of December 2024. In fact, I saw this document for the first time when it was flighted at the commission. I initially thought I was mistaken. I then contacted Mr. Rapeso to discuss with him. He confirmed that the Section 27 affidavit that was flighted at the commission was not the Section 27 affidavit I had shown him on the morning of the 6th of December 2024. I will return to why I showed the Section 27 affidavit to Mr. Rapesu in violation of Advocate Johnson's instructions not to show the affidavit to anyone. I have not seen the Section 27 affidavit after the 6th of December 2024, after I had returned it to Advocate Johnson. What I recall of its contents is based on my memory, but as the Commission will see, there are certain contemporaneous recordials by me that somewhat corroborate my recollection of the contents of the Section 27 affidavit. For convenience, I will deal with the Section 27 affidavit that I was given on the 5th of December 2024 compared to the Section 27 affidavit that was flighted before the Commission in tabular form. Page 16.
So what we then have is a table with, on the left, the Section 27 affidavit that was given to you on the 5th of December versus on the right, the Section 27 affidavit that was flighted at the Commission, which is 512 to 516 of File 2 of the exhibit bundle.
Correct.
So at number 1, you can start there.
Thank you. The Section 27 affidavit seen on the 5th of December 2024 referred to Orlando Kaz. I am not going to read it into the record, and a Valeria Kaz. The Section 27 affidavit flighted at the Commission, page 512 to 516, listed Cape Town Kaz dockets. 2. Major General Madondo failing a polygraph test while seeking security clearance. Although,
Maybe for the record, you're unfortunately going to have to repeat the heading.
Okay, not a problem.
I think you can just say the section affidavit you saw, then say that is what it contained, and then say the flighted one, this is what.
Noted. The one that I saw, Major General Madondo failing a polygraph test while seeking security clearance, was prominent or noted. On the one that was flighted, although vetting is mentioned, it is in a different context and no mention is made of a polygraph test. The one that I had seen, number 3, allegations of procurement irregularities within crime intelligence regarding the procurement of a forklift. On the one flighted, there's no mention of a forklift. Number 4, on the one that I had seen, multiple allegations of alleged criminal conduct by the political killings task team, such as procurement of vehicles, excessive budget for laundry using the Secret Service account. This is not mentioned on the 27 flighted. Number 5, vehicles that were procured for the PKTT being used by the former Minister of Police, Mr. Cele, for his personal use. This is also not on the one that is flighted. Number 6, purchasing of hotels, lodges, or properties using the Secret Service account, also not mentioned on the one flighted.
Okay. Paragraph 37.
The commissioners will hear from Mr. Rapesu as to his recollection of the contents of the Section 27 affidavit that I showed him on the 6th of December and whether his recollection accords with mine. Paragraph 8. 38. In corroboration of my recollection of what was contained in the Section 27 affidavit that I saw on the 5th of December 2024, I refer the Commission to a written request for case dockets that Advocate Johnson instructed me to prepare and addressed to Major General Mbuso Kumalo. The letter is dated 6 December 2024 and was signed by Advocate Johnson on the same day. The request was based on dockets referred to in the Section 27 affidavit.
Can you just pause there? We want to refer the commissioners to that. It's on page 111 of file 10. And this is the letter that you were prepared on Advocate Johnson's instruction requesting the dockets on the 6th of December 2024 from Major General Mbuso Kumalo. And at paragraph 2 is the list of the case number, the dockets that you were requesting.
Correct.
And they are Valeria, Orlando.
Correct.
And you then say that is what was in the section 27 referral affidavit that you saw.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if we can then go to file 2, page 512. Do you have it?
Almost there.
Okay.
Yes.
That is the section 27 affidavit that we refer to as the flighted affidavit, section 27 affidavit. And you'll see in paragraph 1, it says, in my capacity as a member of Parliament for the Republic of South Africa, I first opened 3 cases in Cape Town Police Station with case numbers Cape Town, and it gives the case numbers expressly. And there is no case number for the Orlando or the Valeria, but there is a reference to those case dockets, and you'll find that on page 515. Paragraph 8. A few days after I opened the 3 cases at Cape Town Police Station, I decided to go to Gauteng, and I went to Orlando Police Station where I opened another 3 cases based on the 3 cases I opened in Cape Town, but it doesn't give the case numbers, the CAS numbers.
Correct.
And your point is that you could have only prepared the request to Major General Mbuso Kumalo, specifically mentioning the Valeria and Orlando case numbers because you had the section 27 affidavit that expressly referred to those case numbers.
Correct. If I may also clarify another aspect. At this time, I had no knowledge of any emails that had taken place between Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde and Advocate Johnson, or any emails between Police Minister Senzo Mkhunu and Advocate Johnson. So what I worked off for this request from Lieutenant General Mbuso could only have come from the 27 referral.
I assume you did not have any discussion with Chief Perumal, because we understood from Advocate Johnson that he's the one who went to Mr. Adams to obtain the affidavit. So you did not have any discussion with him about the Orlando cases and case numbers?
No, the communication I had with Mr. Perumal on that day was I needed the details of Lieutenant General. I didn't even know his name was Mbuso.
Yeah. So he could not have given
He
you
could
the
not have
Orlando
given,
case
and
numbers?
everybody was rushing because after the meeting he was leaving to the airport to go back home, which I deal with later on. But the only information that I requested from Mr. Perumal was who do I address, like, the full title and the email address. At which point Mr. Perumal went outside the office because we were open plan, but we were in his office at the time. He went outside. He said, "Let me call Charity," that being General Charity Matlo, to get the details. And then he had come back to me with the details. And then he spoke to Mr. Rapesu, and he left.
Okay. So we can go back to your affidavit, page 17, paragraph 38. You say the request was based on the dockets referred to in the section 27 affidavit.
I could only have gotten the CAS numbers from the Section 27 affidavit because on the 6th of December 2024, I had nothing more than the Section 27 affidavit and Advocate Johnson's handwritten notes with the names of the suspect. While reference is made to the Orlando docket in the Section 27 affidavit flighted at the Commission, the CAS numbers do not appear on the affidavit. The Section 27 referral flighted at the Commission could not and is not the 27 referral affidavit that I used to prepare the application for Section 2813 investigations. Paragraph 39. The reason both Advocate Johnson and Mr. Padiachi have struggled to marry the allegations contained in the Section 27 affidavit flighted at the Commission with the contents of the Section 2813 authorization is because the Section 27 affidavit flighted before this Commission is not the Section 27 affidavit that I used to prepare the Section 2813 application, and which formed the basis for the authorization. Paragraph 40. The allegations about the PKTT featured prominently in Mr. Adams' Section 27 affidavit, yet the one flighted makes no mention of the PKTT. The allegations of Brigadier Mukwele appointed was more a throwaway allegation on the Section 27 affidavit that I saw. My draft Section 2713, paragraph 41.
2813.
Paragraph 41. My draft Section 2813 application is also a corroboration of the version of the Section 27 referral affidavit that I saw on the 5th of December 2024 when I drafted the application. 41.1. In paragraph 1.3 of the draft, I referred to the allegations of unlawful actions regarding the vetting and polygraph testing perpetuated by crime intelligence officials.
Can we just pause there and refer the commissioners? It's on page 107 of file 10. That is the draft application, or your application. And you were referring us to paragraph 1.3, the allegations about vetting and polygraph testing.
Correct.
Okay, you can continue in your statement.
Thank you. The allegations of unlawful actions regarding vetting and polygraph testing is not contained in the flighted Section 27 referral. I could only have gotten the allegations from the Section 27 referral because at that stage, we had not even requested the dockets. Paragraph 41.2. The Section 27 referral affidavit I considered contained allegations of procurement irregularities regarding the procurement of a forklift by crime intelligence and procurement of vehicles for the PKTT. Hence, the reference to awarding tenders in the Section 2813 application and authorization.
And that is on page 107, file 10, paragraph 1.7, fraud and corruption pertaining to awarding of tenders and or contracts involving SAPs and or circumventing of procurement processes.
Correct.
Okay. Then we can go to the next subtopic, Mr. Perumal's attempt to scapegoat me regarding the Section 27 affidavit.
Paragraph 42. On the 9th of October 2025, I was contacted by Ms. Innocent Sukakane, personal assistant to Advocate Johnson. She informed me that she was told that Mr. Perumal had called me that same day regarding the whereabouts of the original Section 27 referral affidavit. She said that I had told Mr. Perumal that I was tasked with the safekeeping of the Section 27 referral affidavit and that I could not chase the Section 27 referral affidavit. Paragraph 43. If I recall correctly, in September 2025 or early October 2025, the accused persons in the Mukwele matter had made numerous requests for the Section 27 referral. I want to say that Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal were struggling to find the Section 27 referral affidavit and perhaps thought I had the affidavit, but I cannot say there's a word missing. I want to genuinely say.
So it should read, I want to genuinely say that Advocate Johnson and
Johnson
Mr.
and
Perumal. Okay.
Mr. Perumal was struggling to find the Section 27 referral affidavit and perhaps thought that I had the affidavit. But I cannot say that because what I suspect is that Advocate Johnson and or Mr. Perumal did not want to disclose the Section 27 referral affidavit to the accused persons in the Mukwele matter and needed a reason as to why it could not be produced. My suspicion is that the flighted Section 27 referral affidavit was produced at that stage, and after Lieutenant General Mkonazi's press briefing on the 6th of July 2025, where he stated that IDAC was investigating the PKTT.
When you say it was produced on that day, you mean created?
Created.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
To be more precise, you say at that stage, not at that day.
At that stage, yes.
So I understand you to mean that it must be after September or early October 2025. Because if it existed in early October, the flighted Section 27 would have been provided to the accused. So it must mean it did not exist when the accused were asking for it.
Correct. The one that is flighted
The
did
one
not
that is flighted, yes.
was not, yes, created by them. I do not think it is a coincidence that the flighted Section 27 referral affidavit makes no reference to the PKTT, whereas the version I saw in December 2024 does. And now there is no record of that version, other than the original that I returned to Advocate Johnson on the 6th of December 2024. Which was not produced, and in respect of which Mr. Perumal tried to create the narrative that I had misplaced the original. I was concerned that I was being blamed for something I had no knowledge of. I addressed an email to Advocate Johnson to set out the events that transpired on the 5th of December 2024. And thereafter, regarding the Section 27 referral affidavit. I have provided the email to the Commission. My reference to 5 of December 2025 in the email is to be corrected, and it should be 5th December 2024. I'm dyslexic, I apologize.
We can go to that later now, the email that you sent, and that is in file 10. On page 402. You'll have to read the letter to us, the email,
Can
the
I
entire
have the
email.
reference again, please? Sorry. Reference.
Page 402 of file 10.
Thank you.
Let me know when you're there. Do you have it?
I do.
It's an email from you on 9 October 2025, 1347, addressed to Advocate Johnson, Mr. Perumal, Mr. Sesoko, Mr. Tlale. Who is Mr. Tlale?
He's the project manager.
And then that is Innocent is the assistant.
Correct.
Advocate Johnson's assistant. And the subject is Section 27 referral, F. Adams.
Correct.
You can read it.
Good day, Advocate Johnson. I was contacted by INO in respect of, 1, that I was contacted by Mr. Perumal today regarding the above referral, and that I indicated you told me to keep it safe, and that I cannot trace it. Mr. Perumal did not contact me today. Mr. Tlale contacted me this morning, and I explained to him as follows. 1.1. On the morning of the 5th of December 2025, but it should read 2024, at 8 a.m., while in your office, you gave me a grey document bag folder with a zip which contained the 27 affidavit referral and piece of note paper with your handwriting. I asked to attend to the necessary after court from home, which I did, and emailed you that evening. 1.2.
Sorry, can you just raise your voice and...
Sorry.
Okay. 1.2?
1.2. Your instructions regarding the folder was that I return it to your office the next day, and no copies of the documents were to be made. Because the grey document bag was conspicuous, I put it in a large brown envelope and returned same to your office before the staff meeting on the 6th of December 2024. Once again, I apologize. On the 10th of June 2025, in your office, where a meeting was being held with myself, Mr. Sissoko, Mr. Perumal, Mr. Padiachi, Mr. Mlambo, and Mr. Charles, I indicated that we needed the documents in the folder. At that point, we were all packing to move offices. You indicated that I should text you the following day, and you would look for it through the many boxes. 1.5. On the 11th of June, 2025, I attach a screenshot. I contacted Mr. Perumal, indicating that we would only need the folder in 3 or 4 weeks should I trouble the ID to look for the folder, to which he replied, it can wait. Paragraph 2, I wish to state, I did not retain possession of the original Section 27 affidavit referral, nor any copies thereof. As instructed, I returned same to your office on the same day after receiving it. 2.2, I did not have any communication with Mr. Perumal today. Our last communication was on the 18th of September, 2025, via WhatsApp text. Thus, I could not have told him that I was asked to keep it safe, and I misplaced it. 2.3, I was contacted by Mr. Shlale today, earlier this morning, and stated to him exactly what I have stated above. Kind regards, Trishanta Ramsamy.
Okay, can we then go back to your statement? We are at paragraph 45.
Thank you. Later the same day, at 3:04 p.m., Advocate Johnson responded to my email via text, WhatsApp. In the message, she accepted that she may have been mistaken about the Section 27 referral affidavit. She said she would look in her office the following day. If she disagreed with the contents of my email, she would have surely responded either directly to the email or via WhatsApp.
Can I just interrupt you here? If what you are saying is correct, and it goes back to the point Chair made earlier, from January when the investigation started and the summonses were being issued, January 2025, until the arrests in June, all the way until September, October 2025, nobody at IDEC knew where the original Section 27 affidavit was.
If Commissioner...
So how did they conduct the investigation leading to people being arrested and charged if nobody knew? If they last saw it, according to the inquiries that are being made to you, if they last saw it when they handed it to you and you handed it back?
That's a very good question. How did they do it? Because if the commissioners have to marry what has transpired with the arrests versus what is contained in that 27, there's great discrepancies. It's devastating. And in part 2 of, within this statement and in part 2, I will demonstrate how the commission has been hoodwinked.
Or lied to. I'm not saying we have concluded that we've been lied to, but I'm just saying perhaps the lied to is an appropriate, stronger word in the context.
I'm trying to be polite.
Thank you. May I ask you to read the last sentence of paragraph 5? You did not read the have, if I'm not mistaken. And
Paragraph 5 in the...
45, the last sentence starting if she.
Thank you. If she disagreed with the contents of my email, she would surely have responded either directly to the email or via WhatsApp.
Okay, we're just trying to locate the WhatsApp screenshot. I know that it had been provided to us where Advocate Johnson responds, and it should be in the exhibit bundle, but for some reason it's not in the electronic version, but we'll come back to it later. But we have seen it. Can we then go to the next topic, subtopic, explanation of the names of suspects in the Section 2813 authorization?
Paragraph 46. Another issue that warrants special mention is the issue raised by the Commission about the lack of substantiation of the names of the suspects listed in the Section 2813 authorization, as indicated when Advocate Johnson instructed me to prepare the application for the Section 2813 authorization. She gave me a list of suspects' names on the pink, purple notepad page. This has consistently been my version. Paragraph 47. On the 22nd of July, 2026.
It's the 22nd, yes, so there's a correction. Yes. The statement says 21, but it was 22.
The Commission asked Advocate Johnson to explain the source relied upon for the names that appeared in the suspects on the Section 2813 authorization. As stated earlier, I got the names from Advocate Johnson, together with the Section 27 referral affidavit. Advocate Johnson undertook to make inquiries. Later that day, at approximately 3:10, while I was consulting with the Commission's evidence leader, Advocate Johnson called me. And the call was recorded. The Commission is in possession of the recording because Advocate Johnson had already scapegoated me in her testimony before the Commission, and I felt I needed to record our conversation. In the recording, I explained how the names ended up in the Section 2813 authorization based on the names she gave me. At the stage of the recording... At the start of the recording, Advocate Johnson made a startling remark that we gotta figure out how you don't go. In other words, find a way for me not to testify before the Commission. I have no objection to the recording being played.
Chair, Commissioners, at this stage we want to play that recording for you. It is approximately 12 minutes. We have tried to only deal with what we consider to be important, but actually all of it is important. And there may be a point that we do cut it where it has nothing to do with the subject matter. It deals with three aspects. Number one, what the witness had just indicated now, a comment that they must find a way not for her to testify before the commission. The second,
Her being.
her being the witness before you now. The second issue is a debate or an exchange about the names, how the names came about in the 2813. And then there is some criticism that Advocate Johnson makes towards the commission and the process that the commission is following, which we don't think is relevant, but it may be that we have to play the entire recording so that it's not suggested that we are withholding anything insofar as the recording is concerned, Chair. But
And I believe that all three of us have very thick skins.
I believe so too, Chair. Thank you. So if you just indulge us, we'll be listening to it for the next 10 to 12 minutes. Sorry, Advocate Ramsam, if you can switch off your microphone.
Hi, Advocate Johnson. Hello.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Well, they put me through the cases for the section 2813 on the
Diversion.
Kumalo matter. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been watching. I've been so busy.
Yeah. Don't worry. I think they're gonna call you.
Oh God.
I'll come and tell you why.
Mm.
We'll have to figure out how you don't go. Okay. So they said to me, I must tell them step by step. I said, I get the 2813. Usually we give it to a team. Santosh is the deputy, but I give it to Drew.
Yeah.
You use it to compile a section 2813.
Mm.
Now they're saying when they look at the 2813,
Yeah.
must just check, the annexure that has all the names of the people, annexure A, it has all the suspects. Now
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
saying
yeah.
when you look at the 2813,
Mm.
you could only really make out Kumalo, maybe Madondo and Lushaba.
Yeah.
Where did you get all the other names from?
That page that you gave me, the names were on that page that you gave me. The one in the folder. The one in the handwriting on the pink purple page.
Where would we have got those names from?
I don't know, you gave it to me on the morning just before I rushed to court. You gave me the 27 referral and the names on the handwritten page.
Because they are asking me where you got the names from, and I'm saying, I'm not sure. Because I can't remember to share for me. I can't remember either.
No, I remember distinctly because that's why I also put it in my email where I received the 27 referral and I received that piece of paper with handwriting and it was the suspects that was written on there. And you explained to me that the suspects was after Dylan had consulted with Fadil. That's how the list came about.
So Dylan would have consulted Fadil before you did the 20.
Before I did the 28, yeah, before I even received the 27, the list was compiled on that page with the handwriting, and you had indicated that Fadil and Dylan had consulted, and that's where it came from.
I'm going to have to speak to Dylan. He can't remember half the things.
But it's on my email.
Because I say I've now abused my power by authorizing other people's names that are there.
I don't know what to say, Mama, because I specifically remember, and it's also on my email, because after you phoned me last night, I went and found that email where I explained what I received from you and what I returned to you.
And
Mama?
the section 28,
Mm-hmm.
13, you would have brought an application, would you not?
You asked me to email it to you. Remember, I was in court with Speaker Matter, and then you asked me to email it to you that evening so that you can sign it the next morning.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so I signed the authorization.
Yeah, the 2813 authorization.
Yes, but did you put an application together for the authorization? What I'm trying to get at is, remember, for us to authorize Drew, usually we just put a thingy with a short summary of facts.
Yeah, but you told me not to do the mandate memo. It was just the. I'm just opening my laptop for you now. 1 second. What date was it, Mama? The 5th or the 6th?
I signed on the 6th. It should be 5th.
Okay. Just checking now. Why can't I find that email? No, I think I didn't do that. I think the facts and all of that was covered in the email I sent.
27.
Yeah, in the 27. And then remember, I did a summary of the 27 and the dockets that we collected. And that is when I said to you, I need to consult with Fadil because...
Wait, remember, wait. Remember, Drew, the authorization is the 6th of December. Y'all got the dockets on the 9th of December. So you wouldn't have had the dockets.
No, I didn't have the dockets. We only received the dockets because on the 6th, you sent the letter to Sentumule.
Yes,
yeah.
That is what I'm saying. So what would you have based, and that's what I'm trying to get to. You based your facts on the section 27.
Correct.
Did you check to anyone before that, or did you base your facts on anything else for us to have those other names?
It was on the page that you gave me. That's why those names are there.
And how do we arrive at some of those other offenses like forgery and uttering and...
Forgery and uttering, we generally put in our 28.
That's how that's how I explained it. But he said, I have abused my power by doing that.
No, it's a standard thing because out of fraud, we get forgery and uttering.
And that's what I said. When you look at that one paragraph where he says the alleged manipulation of procurement processes, that with the PFMA and fraud, almost invariably, there is forgery and uttering.
Yeah.
And that if we don't put it in, then we can't deal with it.
And remember with the
So what they're doing is, do they dissect word for word?
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching.
Yeah. Today I must have been the dumbest lawyer South Africa has seen.
Are you done for the day?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling sick. You know, I got sick last week, remember?
Yeah.
And I had a panic attack. So for the first time, I'm taking meds for it. And after a while, I just felt I was zoned. And I realized I wasn't even paying attention.
No, but to answer your question, the names that I obtained or placed in the 2813 was the page with your handwriting and the names of the suspects. And then when I asked about it, you said that Dylan consulted with Fadil, and that's how the names came up.
I must talk to Dylan. If we have to have a quick WhatsApp call later, is it okay with you?
No, that's fine. I'm free.
Yeah, because, otherwise I'm very confused because they need to know from me tomorrow. Where did I get these names? And I need to understand where did I get those names. Now, it's fine if you say you got it from me, but I don't know where I got it from.
What you told me is that Dylan obtained it after consultation with Fadil. That is my understanding of it.
Okay. All right. I have to speak to him. I have to speak to him because he must have notes somewhere.
If you look at my emails, ask him to check the emails.
My laptop was stolen, so my laptop was stolen in January last year, so I've lost lots of my stuff.
But ask Dylan to check because he has his emails on his phone. There's an email between him, you, and I about the names as well as about the documents, the ones that were slotted in under Fadil's door. So there was a trailing email between us. He should remember.
Okay. I'll talk to him, and then if you don't mind, we'll chat a bit later on. Or else, I go there. I've already now abused my power by not asking where these names came from. I said to them, you know what, maybe I had a discussion with you. I just can't remember right now.
No.
And which would then be true. Drew, we had a discussion.
Yeah.
If you say that there was this paper. But where did this paper come from? Where would those names have come from?
That was what our conversation was. It came from consultation with Dylan and Fadil, and then you had written it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to talk to him, then you and I will check it. But thank you. And sorry, but they asked me for the name of every person who's dealt with the matter.
No, it's fine. I don't even know what's happening. I'll be very honest with you. I stopped watching because we are so busy with preparation for blue lights that I just don't have the time to listen.
And don't watch because it will really, if they call you, you leave the country.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
It's not what you know.
Okay. No.
Today I didn't know Section 28. I didn't know Section 27. I know nothing. I'm as dumb as two bricks.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's okay because, you know what? Whether we like it or not, they're going to make our names shit anyway because you can just see, especially when, remember he's a judge. For him to make a comment, oh, well, this is basic law 101. I'm surprised you don't know it with your 30 years experience.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to that.
Exactly. And he makes faces, they laugh with each other while you're still answering. It's so unprofessional.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we're all going to do, but it's just going to be a shit show. But I'm going to talk to Dylan quickly.
Okay, but ask him to check my emails it must have been around the 11th, 12th or 13th of December because I went on leave on the 14th of December. So it would have been the 11th, the 12th or the 13th of December.
But he would have had to speak to Fadil after Fadil gave us the 27th, remember?
Yeah. No, his indication is that he had spoken to him in December, so it was late November.
Yeah, late November.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Fadil's 27 is dated 21 November. So he would have had to speak to him between 21 November and the 5th of December, because on the 6th we signed the authorization with these extra names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to talk to him.
Okay, Mama.
All right, thanks,
Yeah, no
Drew.
problem.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Ms. Ramsamy, you refer to Advocate Johnson as Mama. Why is that? You can switch on your mic.
When I started with ID, before it became IDAC, Advocate Johnson was the head of office. And we had a choice between calling her ID or Mama J. And I respectfully call her that because she's not a bad person. She's not. When I got sick, she was there. She was she's kind. It's just the work ethic that I have a problem with. And so I respectfully call her Mama.
Okay. So
I just cut the J part out.
Okay, this was the recording on the 22nd of July where you telling her how those names came about.
Correct.
And you are referencing emails that were sent in December 2024, where Mr. Perumal indicated that he had consulted with Mr. Adams.
Correct.
And those emails you have provided to us, we'll get to that. But if I understand it, the emails you are referring to in that recording are emails that were sent after, in response to your docket report.
Correct.
Okay, which comes after the dockets were collected and after the 2813 is authorized.
Correct.
Okay. So we should then go back into your statement to deal with the 2813 investigation, which is on page 21 at paragraph 49.
Mr. Rapesu?
No, page 21, paragraph 49.
49.
2813 investigation.
Returning to the events of December 2024, on the 6th of December 2024, before the staff meeting, I went to Mr. Rapesu, who had been designated as one of the investigators in the Adams referral. I trusted Mr. Rapesu. I had to show him the affidavit because I had such unease about what I was instructed to do, especially given the lack of substantiation of the allegations contained in the Section 27 referral affidavit, and the fact that I had been given names of suspects to include in the Section 2813 application, that I simply couldn't reconcile with the contents of the Section 27 referral affidavit. Paragraph 50. Mr. Rapesu briefly perused the affidavit before I had to return it to Advocate Johnson shortly before the staff meeting. I went to Advocate Johnson's office and returned the Section 27 referral affidavit, and she gave me the signed 2813 authorization. There was a meeting scheduled for 11 a.m. with the team assigned to the Adams referral, which took place in Advocate Johnson's office. Present in the meeting was Advocate Johnson, Mr. Perumal, Mr. Rapesu, Mr. Padiachi and Vessels were not present, and I. Mr. Padiachi and Mr. Vessels were not present in this meeting. Before I deal with the events that transpired from the 6th of December 2024, I want to make it clear that Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal launched an orchestrated attack on General Masiamula and General Kumalo using IDAC's powerful investigation tools. And this will become evident in my statement and testimony.
Sorry, as I understand this, correct me if I'm wrong, the attacks were made at the meeting or not?
I make the statement.
Or do you mean they were made as the investigation was going on?
I think when my second statement is before Chair, for the 22nd of January, Chair will understand the clear picture, including the notes.
Okay.
But I don't make a statement of this nature lightly.
All right. No, thank you.
Can I also just seek clarification? So when you say an orchestrated attack from the 6th of December, you are referring to the investigations themselves being an orchestrated attack?
Correct.
Okay, and when you say using IDAC's powerful tools, it is the tools that one finds in Section 28, for example, the investigation itself.
28, 6, and 7 specifically, which has no judicial oversight, but is signed. And if I may give an example, yesterday, Chair was very concerned about a 28 that was sent with regards to Fadil Adams' arrest and who made the arrest. Had that been a Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act, an affidavit explaining the request would have been accompanied, and a magistrate would have interrogated the reasons.
Okay. Go to page 22, paragraph 51.
Paragraph 51. Everything about the process was concerning. 51.1. The speed with which everything had to be done without any evidentiary basis, and in certain instances, against my strict instructions to the investigators. The makeup of the team, while Mr. Manilal was designated as the Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, he had no involvement in the matter. I was the only prosecutor who had to report directly to Advocate Johnson. Mr. Sissoko, who for all intents and purposes is the Chief Operating Officer of IDAC, was not aware of the matter. The lack of evidence on the Mukwele matter, I distinguish this matter from the Lushaba matter, where there was a prima facie case. But in my view, I questioned whether it was within IDAC's mandate to investigate the Lushaba matter. The timing of certain decisions and actions. Paragraph 52. Returning to the meeting, it was a short meeting. Advocate Johnson informed us that she will be supervising the matter personally, like she had done in the July 2023 referral. As will become evident, Advocate Johnson was not merely supervising. She was dictating key decisions throughout the investigation. Before we left Advocate Johnson's office, she said that the dockets had to be collected that day and instructed me to draft a written request immediately for her signature. And she repeated that the dockets must be collected today. I did not understand the urgency, especially as it was Friday and nothing would happen until Monday anyway. She told me to address the letter to Major General. There is an error here. I was told to address the letter to Major General Kumalo. I didn't know the first name at the time, as I had previously explained. Mr. Perumal instructed Mr. Rapesu to collect the dockets immediately. He should not wait for the letter because he, Mr. Perumal, wanted to take the dockets home with him to Eastern Cape. Mr. Perumal also mentioned that Mr. Padiachi had already been briefed on the matter. I found this very strange because we were being briefed for the first time on the Section 2813 authorization, and it had only been signed earlier that morning. Clearly, Mr. Padiachi was briefed on an investigation that he knew would be authorized before it was authorized. Allow me to digress again before I continue the timeline.
The next.
Sorry, can you please reread the sentence starting, I found this strange?
Yes, Chair. I found this strange because we were being briefed for the first time and the Section 2813 authorization had just been signed earlier that morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Then the next subtopic is, did Mr. Padiachi see, there's a missing E there, the Section 27 referral affidavit? This is the question that Chair, or the issue that Chair had raised earlier about Mr. Padiachi.
I think it was Commissioner Kumalo who asked. And
No, it was Chair. Okay.
Paragraph 53. I heard the evidence of Mr. Padiachi that he had not seen the Section 27 referral affidavit. I confirm that Mr. Padiachi had not seen the Section 27 referral affidavit in my presence. However, I believe that Mr. Padiachi either saw a draft of the Section 27 affidavit or the signed version. I say this because when Mr. Perumal and Rapesu and I went to Cape Town on the 6th of January 2025, and whilst at the airport, Mr. Rapesu went to collect the rental vehicle. Mr. Perumal complained to me that when him and Mr. Padiachi were in Cape Town in November 2024, there was a shortage of hotels, and they were forced to stay at the Formula One hotel. He expressed how embarrassing it was for him and Mr. Padiachi to meet with a member of parliament at the Formula One. For this reason, I doubt Mr. Padiachi's version that he did not see the Section 27 referral affidavit. Having said that, there was a lot of secrecy around this Section 27 referral affidavit. Had it not been for Mr. Perumal's comments at the airport, I would have believed Mr. Padiachi that he had not seen the Section 27 referral affidavit. As far as I was aware, before Mr. Perumal's comments at the airport, the only people who had seen the Section 27 affidavit was Advocate Johnson, Mr. Perumal, and Rapesu, because I had shown it to him and me.
Is your point that because he was with Mr. Perumal when they were consulting with Mr. Adams in November 2024, he would have seen a draft of that affidavit, or on their way back, he would have seen the signed version?
It could not be possible to sit in a consultation to draft an affidavit and not know the contents thereof or see it.
But he could have waited outside while they were doing that.
I will get to the relationship and the closeness later on, if it will be allowed.
So here you are talking about the original affidavit, not the one that has Pretoria and Cape Town issues.
Correct.
Oh, all right, thank you.
But it would seem that when you say it would not be possible that Mr. Padiachi, Colonel Padiachi was with Perumal in Cape Town, a statement was taken, that he wouldn't have seen that affidavit. So it must be that you're also referring to the November.
The November statement.
Yeah, the one that was shown here in the commission.
Oh.
Okay.
The one that I referred to here, it could be correct that he didn't see the one that was flighted, because I have heard that that is not the correct one. But my statement here is that the one that I am speaking about, the one that contains the PKTT and the vehicles and the lodges, it would have been improbable that he would have not had seen the original.
Understand. Are you therefore saying that this trip, the two of them in Cape Town, that would have been when they took the affidavit that you saw, the original one?
Correct.
Not the one that was flighted?
Correct.
Okay, I understand.
Maybe,
Sorry.
sorry, where you need to clarify for Commissioner Baloy.
Yes,
Even the affidavit that you saw, the original one, it was also dated 21 November 2024.
I cannot confirm that. I have a recollection of a different date. I also have a recollection of a conversation between Perumal and myself when this whole debacle of the where is the 27 referral as per my email was happening, where Perumal says to me, no, the ID must check, referring to Advocate Johnson, because I have WhatsApps from the 13th of November where Fadil is asking for things. So
it was November, but you're not sure whether
No, I
it was
cannot
the
confirm the
21st or the 13th.
I cannot confirm the date.
Thank
I just know that may I just point to the 22nd, Advocate Lee? January.
Before you get to that, the one that you saw would have been dated November 2024 as well, because in your application 2813, you referred to the Section 27 in November 2024.
Correct.
Okay. But you can't recall who the commissioner was, you can't recall the date, because it wasn't something that you were focused on necessarily at that stage.
No, I think my focus was more on the content of that statement.
Yeah.
And your assumption that the affidavit was taken in November when the two of them were there together is based on the fact that they were there in November and it is a November affidavit. Is that why you think it must have been taken?
That is my thinking, my line of thinking with regards to that. Also, there are later emails that the commission will have sight of where Advocate Johnson, I'm now questioning the veracity of the affidavit itself and the lack thereof in the dockets that were opened. It is at that point that Advocate Johnson even sends me an email saying, ask Chief, he consulted, he should have those things.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if we can then go to the dockets, the topic, the dockets, on page 24, paragraph 55.
Thank you. Paragraph 55. After the meeting, I prepared the letter to Major General Khumalo. I point out again that the letter asks for the Valeria and Orlando dockets mentioned in the 27 referral affidavit, not Cape Town dockets listed in the flighted section 27 affidavit. There was a lot of commotion on that day. I do not refer to outside the office commotion. I'm talking about within the office. Bless you. Mr. Rapesu will elaborate on the docket retrieval issue. Ultimately, on the 9th of December, 2024, I had to change the letter request from Major General Khumalo to Lieutenant General Jacobs. I sent Advocate Johnson a WhatsApp message to tell her that based on the information I received from Mr. Rapesu, the letter had to be changed to Lieutenant General Jacobs. Her response was that I must shed the letter because it was not going to Lieutenant General Jacobs. She said she had written to Divisional Commissioner, Detective Services, Lieutenant General Sentimule. I was still unclear on the process to collect the dockets. Advocate Johnson told me to ask Mr. Rapesu to call Colonel Phillips and ask if Lieutenant General Sentimule had asked Colonel Phillips to hand the dockets over. The WhatsApp exchanges have been provided.
Yes, we can go to file 10, page 113. That's where the WhatsApp exchanges between you and Advocate Johnson that morning.
Correct.
Okay. You can take us through it. So the black would be yours, and then the white would be Advocate Johnson.
Morning, Advocate Johnson. This is the 9th of December 2024, 8:38 a.m. Morning, Advocate Johnson. I trust you are well. The letter that was sealed for Khumalo has to be changed to Lieutenant General Jacobs. I have the sealed bag. May I leave the details in bag with Inu and await new signed letter? Once received, Mansa has made arrangements to collect the dockets. Not going, this is now Advocate Johnson, not going to Jacobs. Shed the letter. I wrote to DivCom on Friday. She will revert today. I know I state at 8:40, noted, thank you. 11:40, I send another message. Advocate Johnson, my apologies for disturbing you. Please advise what the instructions are about collecting the dockets. Are the investigators to wait upon the reply and you giving them the go-ahead to collect the dockets? Thank you. 114.
You can just go to her reply because that's a repeat of your question, of your message.
Thank you.
So
She replies at 11:40. They must wait till I get the go-ahead. 11:42. I will advise the team. Thank you. I then send another message at 11:44. Mansa received a call to come collect the dockets in 30 minutes in CBD, CBD being Pretoria. Please advise if he should. From a Colonel Phillips. Advocate Johnson replies at 12:00. Ask him to call Colonel Phillips quickly and ask if General Sentimule asked him to give us the dockets. Once you revert, I will tell you what to do. They confirm that...
Just go to the next page and read it. It's the full message on 115. They confirm.
Thank you. They confirm that it came from General S. They are asking us to also give them a copy of the letter sent for their record purposes, but they will provide the dockets today and we must drop off the letter at our convenience. Advocate Johnson replies, get a copy of the letter to General Sentamule from Ino and take it with. The dockets must be copied immediately and then the originals handed to Ino. Thank you. We'll attend to it now. At 14:53, I send another message. Good afternoon, Advocate Johnson. I have received dockets. I have made a copy and handed originals in an envelope to Ino. I will peruse all the sections and provide a report to yourself. She replies, thank you. The next morning.
Okay, we'll get to that later. So then we have to return to your statement at page 24, paragraph 56.
I later confirmed with Advocate Johnson that the dockets were received from Lieutenant General Sentamule and that Rapesu had been requested to provide written request for their record purposes, but that the dockets would be made available that day. Advocate Johnson then asked me to get a copy of the written request to Lieutenant General Sentamule from her assistant, and that it must be delivered when the dockets are collected. She also gave me an instruction that the dockets must be copied immediately and the originals must be handed to her personal assistant. A few hours later, I advised Advocate Johnson that I had received the dockets, a copy was made, and the original placed in an envelope given to her personal assistant. I told her that I would peruse all the sections and prepare a report to her. The request for the dockets was yet another matter that did not sit well with me. We usually request certified copies of the docket, and the originals are retained by whomever the request is addressed to. In this instance, I was asked to request for the original dockets, which is evident from the letter to Major General Khumalo. Before I deal with my report, I must address the issue of the letter to Major General Khumalo. Advocate Johnson testified that we sent the letter requesting the dockets to Major General Khumalo, and that he had indicated that the dockets were not with him or were not his. As stated above, the letter was never sent to Major General Khumalo, and Advocate Johnson knew that because she told me to shred the letter. Advocate Johnson told me that the letter had been changed and addressed to General Sentamule.
Sorry, I may have misunderstood. Was the one that you had to shred not the one that was to go to Lieutenant General Jacobs?
No, Chair.
Yes.
The instruction on the 6th was to draft to Lieutenant General Mbuso Khumalo. That letter was in the envelope that was sealed, marked by hand. That letter was never sent. Mm-hmm. So when I got to the office on the 9th, that letter was handed in a sealed, almost like an exhibit bag letter, a document thing, and handed to me by Innocent, because obviously Rapesu had to go and fetch the dockets. Rapesu, he had not come to the office with regards to collecting the letter or anything, but he will explain what his actions were. He called me and stated they want the letter changed from Khumalo to Jacobs. I then contacted Advocate Johnson. Remember, I'm not the signatory of the letter. So I'm informing her that the person it is addressed to needs to be changed to Jacobs. She says not to worry, shred the letter, because they've already contacted Sentamule.
Oh.
I apologize for not using the titles, the lieutenant.
Okay, all right. It was a reference to Jacobs at a time when you were talking about a letter that was to have gone to him, that you then talked about the shredding, and I thought, yeah, the shredding related to Lieutenant General Jacobs. No, thank you.
Sorry,
That clarifies
Chair.
it. That clarifies
I'll read slower but louder.
That is at page 113, where you say, Morning Advocate Johnson Trust, well, the letter that was sealed for Kumalo has to be changed to Lieutenant General Jacobs. So at that stage, it's still to General Kumalo. It's not, you are telling her it has to be changed.
Correct.
And she then says, shred, it's not going to Jacobs, shred the letter, which the only letter then is to General Kumalo at that stage in the sealed bag.
Correct.
Okay.
Is there particular reason why you, as the process you describe about getting dockets, that you make copies, you get certified copies and leave the original with its owners, the agency that owns the docket? Is there a particular reason for that?
If I may just put it in a simple example. Centurion Police Station is the owner of that docket. Valeria Police Station is the owner of that docket. The tracking of those dockets are done on the CASing system. If Valeria is asking for Centurion docket, it must be transferred to Valeria. On the face of the brown copy of the docket, it would be scratched off Centurion, put Valeria. Valeria will have to recast it so that it can be checked for safety reasons. We all know dockets go missing, get bought, destroyed. So that is the reason. We don't have a CASing system at IDAC. So it would also, with the other 27 referral that I discussed earlier that I attended to in 2023, we did not, there was a reference to another docket. We did not call for the physical docket in its original state. We called for a copy. And that copy comes with the front certified. Because for me, it was a situation of, what are we going to do with these? Like, are we now taking these dockets? Are they going to be cast on one of our investigators? And if the system shows it's still not cast on one of our investigators.
Say it's not.
As far as
They're not.
my involvement is in it would only be Lushaba that was now recently, on the 12th of June.
Yes.
But I'll deal with that aspect of, and I speak about the movement and the changing of the CASs because it comes up later as well with the Lushaba matter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm going to move on to a next topic, Chair, but I see it's 3 minutes to 1. If maybe it would be a convenient time to take the adjournment now, because that deals with the docket report, which is going to be lengthy.
Let's adjourn and resume at 2 p.m.